everybody. It's Alita Hernandez, Spanglish Entertainment News. And I'm here today just for a special interview today. I have a gentleman. He is the founder of a new program. It's called, I just lost it, Soundcheck Live. Soundcheck Live. And I thought it would be great for you guys out there, especially all you DJs and promoters and people who are doing events. We're always looking for a way to have organization for our events, and it's very difficult. There's a lot of moving parts. I don't know. People don't even realize what's going on behind the scenes. You got musicians, you got instruments, you got rehearsals. There's a whole bunch of stuff, sound checks, and there's just so many parts going on. And people think, oh, wow, you just did a great show. Yeah, but you have no idea what we have to organize. And sometimes you have to organize it in your own way, Excel, and like you have like 10 different applications trying to figure out what's going on. Where's the list for the people? Where's this over here? So we're going to talk to Ben today. And I was going to say his last name again, but I forgot it. So I'll let him say it again. But anyway, let's welcome Ben in. He's going to tell us about this great software that he created. And it's interesting because I saw an article about him that says he went from wedding singer to founder, to a tech founder. So let's talk about his wedding singer. Let's see. He's an artist as well. So let's see what he has to say today. Let's give him a round of applause.
Amazing. Okay, you have to pronounce my last name. Here we go. You
okay.
Ready?
Yeah. You told me once, but I didn't stick.
Ikwuagwu.
Ikwuagwu.
Yeah,
okay.
Ikwuagwu.
Ikwuagwu. Okay. Yeah, you look at the letters, I forget it. I didn't even try to attempt to do that. Between English and Spanish, it would really got messed up.
No,
so how are you today? How are you?
I'm good. I'm better now. Thanks for having me. This is super exciting.
Yeah, I was excited I love when things come through my desk, and going through my emails like, oh, what's this? Oh, I need this. This
Nice.
Soundcheck Live.
Amazing.
So, I mean, you're an artist as well, right? You're a singer.
Yeah, I'm a vocalist and MC. Yeah.
So how long you been singing for?
Well, I've been singing since I could talk, probably since I was 5, but professionally the past 15 years or so.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you were doing mostly like you said, like private events and things like that?
Yeah. So been doing a lot of weddings, a lot of corporate events, private events, birthday parties, celebrations, anything they'd hire me for, honestly.
And what kind of music? Just to get a little vibe.
A bit of everything. I would say, okay, so most of the time, especially for weddings, it's typically, top 40s and Motown. I've done some country stuff, done some country weddings. But yeah, a lot of top 40s, a lot of Motown, a lot of, pop hits, I've done some rock as well. So a bit of everything. But if I had to say, to rank them, I would say it's probably 70 to 80% top 40s in Motown and pop.
Okay. So I'm not going to throw, you don't have any like Haitian, Jamaican, Brazilian, salsa, I don't know, anything like that in there?
I mean, we'll do some like, we'll do some Spanish songs. We'll do some Selena. I'm from Texas, so we'll do we'll definitely do some Selena. We'll do some we did a Florida wedding and did a lot of like Flo Rida and Pitbull, and so
that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so, I got it.
Yeah.
The Spanglish, like we call it, the Spanglish.
There you go. Exactly, Spanglish. Yeah.
The Spanglish songs that it's half English, half Spanish and stuff like that. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Mm-hmm. So how did you get to start being techie? Like, how did you even think about doing this? Just because of your own experiences, or how did it come about?
Yeah. So a lot of performing at private events and weddings. So I've worked with a lot of organizations, different types of organizations as well. So like some small bands that are local. I'm based in Austin, so local bands in Austin, but also some global bands, right, that are doing international gigs and are, part of multi-band organizations. And I've seen kind of what it takes to manage a small group versus managing, hundreds and hundreds of freelancers, right? And if I'm going to be honest with you, I rarely find people who do it effectively.
Mm.
And when I say do it effectively, it's not their fault. It's just, it's a lot to put on an event, like to manage a team of musicians and, you know, production crew and sound, lighting,
Yeah.
stage, and folks that you don't work with every day, right? And that's the thing. It's like events are they happen often, but not often enough for you to see. You don't have coworkers that you see every day, right? It's
Right.
typically they're on
Exactly.
weekends, right? And you think about the folks that you're hiring, like if you're a band or if you're a large organization that's managing production crews, you're hiring people who are also doing this for lots of other people, right? So
Right.
the nature of being a freelancer, especially in the event space, is that you freelance.
Yeah.
You freelance for anyone that calls you, anyone that needs you. And obviously you may have your regulars, but then yeah, you're looking for work, you're hopping around. So it's always tough, at least from my experience and what I've seen and what I've experienced as a band leader. It's tough to get your ducks in a row if you don't have a clean system to do that. Now, some organizations that have been doing it for a while, they have a well-oiled machine and they have a system. But a lot of folks, they're like me or musicians who overnight are now managing a band and we're like, how do I do this effectively? So it really just started there. Is I recognize like, whoa, this is chaotic. Managing a band is chaotic, especially a big private event. We're doing some insane events with a lot of organizations I work with, and then so that was kind of the recognizing the problem and living in the space. The tech piece is interesting because one of my really good friends who I've known since college, over 11 years now, he's a computer science guy. He's a developer. He's built a lot of apps and he has a lot of experience coding. So him and I were roommates here in Austin about 3 years ago now. And I saw he was working on an app, and I was like, "That's cool." Like, oh well, I guess I should say I saw him talking about working on an app, and then I saw the idea turn into the technology, and I was like, "Okay, that's interesting. Like, that's cool that you can do that." And it was my first time seeing kind of idea turn into a product that people started using. Obviously, like I've watched movies and I know
Right.
people about technology, but I had never just like witnessed, experienced, and lived with that sort of development of technology. So it was fascinating for me. I'm like, that's super cool. Like you have a team you're working with, you came up with this idea. So the two just married. I had this problem I wanted to solve. I personally was convinced that technology could solve it because I saw some other apps that some organizations use, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's not that great. I my co-founder, who's now my co-founder,
Mm.
Steven, I was like, I've seen Steven do stuff better than this, like So I was like, so I was like, hey, would you be interested in helping me build this idea? Like, I have this idea of what I call initially it started as like a command center is what I want to call it. It's
Right.
like a command center for the bands I work with to manage their team, to manage their gigs, to manage their payments, and coordinate with all the folks that are part of a live event. And he's like, yeah, let's try. He's just very like, yeah, sure, let's see what we can do. And yeah, in the beginning, for the first probably 6 months, we just brainstorming ideas like what would it be, what would it look
Right.
like. We talked with a lot of musicians, a lot of band leaders, like over 400, over the year, over the probably the next 6 to 8 months of just like talking to everyone we could. They were like, yeah, I like this idea. I've thought about doing this. Like, I didn't know where to start. So we started building a community around the idea of building a better operational tool for live event professionals. So people were coming to us like, "Ooh, I have an idea." Like, "Ooh, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that?"
Right.
And we were like, "Okay." So then we started working out the kinks, building a prototype, and we started building a team. And yeah, somehow I became a CEO of a tech company kind of overnight. And then now we're here. But yeah, it's really I attribute a lot of the early building of this to Steven,
Right.
because I'm like I didn't know where to start when wanting to build technology, right? But it was
Yeah.
him that was like, okay, this is cool. I've seen you do this. Like, let's see what this turns into.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the back end is, I'm a techie. That's how mine started. So I've been in
Mm,
technology since the first PC started. So
Mm,
yeah, I've been around for a little while. So I remember doing DOS programs to get a CD to work or something.
okay.
You
Okay.
didn't have you didn't have plug and play when I did computers, okay? So I laugh when techies say, "Oh, I'm having a hard time." What are you having a hard time with? You put it in and it detects it right away. I used to have to program the thing and go, okay, A drive, assign this to
Yeah.
A and make sure you know where the drive, the disk goes because we had floppy disks back,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, I remember floppy disks. Okay, I remember floppy disks.
the
I
little ones,
remember
little ones.
the little ones. Okay, so I have a floppy disk story. I think I was in elementary school, maybe, or maybe yeah, elementary school, and I did a project. I saved it on my floppy disk, and the floppy disk broke, and I lost that project. And
Oh,
it was a time. It was a really sad time. Anyway,
yeah, because you can't
that's my
recover
story.
it. You're like my project.
I know. Or sometimes like you would if you don't eject it properly, it would
Yeah,
mess up whatever.
yeah, it would get scratched and then you couldn't get the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
fun. It was
And we
it
used to
was,
have like a large stack. Like my dad used to have a large stack of
yeah.
floppy disks and we would
Well,
and it
let
was
me tell
like
you.
2 megabytes each, right? Or something.
Yeah, oh
Whatever.
yeah. Well, let me tell you, the original floppy disk there was another one that was 5 1/4 inch. There was a
Uh-huh.
bigger floppy disk and a whole less. Okay.
Oh, that's
And
funny. Yeah.
then you had a 13-inch floppy in the IBM display writers, which were
Mm,
13 inches. You had to have a file cabinet just for the disk. Because and then you have
nice.
to take it out and go, "Ooh, and put it in."
Nice.
It was
Nice. Good
crazy.
times. Good
Yeah,
times.
it was, but it's great to see the development of technology, right? So,
Yeah.
and using those tools to develop something like this. So I went into it. I went in to create a free account just to check it out, and I put in my event, the date, and the time.
Okay. Nice.
Um, I did find one little thing on the start time and the end time. When you put the end time, it wouldn't let me put like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. It keeps saying it happened before, or you know what I mean? I'm like, what time do I put?
We
PM, PM, PM
we have a ticket out right now
for that.
with Steven. Yeah, we're gonna do so a couple things that people have asked for. Yeah, so multi-day events, but also just like yeah, to your point, events that end after midnight. That's something we're working on. But also doing so we have a lot of touring bands as well who are interested in using Soundcheck. So just being able to plan a tour that's over like 3 or 4 days. So yeah, working on that honestly, but yeah, probably by next week we should be able to support kind of a multi-day event. So,
Right, right.
but I love that you called that out.
Because it says you need to put something in, so I kept putting it in there, and I'm like, why isn't that working? So I put 11 p.m. and it worked. I go, so I knew it was like a little bug that you have to fix about the time.
Yeah, the
Because
timing.
it thinks that 12 a.m. What does it say? It
I
has to
think
be
yeah, I think 12 a.m. is the same day. It needs to go to like
right, right.
to
It's
be able to plan
exactly.
across the day.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a techie stuff in the back end. So,
yeah.
but yeah, so I filled all that stuff out. I'm still kind of perusing to it. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit more. So the program is really geared for a musician organizing his tour, or is it more like I
Yeah.
put my event in there
Yeah.
and then I can add the musicians, but what else can I add to the event on
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So right now our ideal customer is an active band. We typically say, someone who's gigging week in and week out, right? Like that's a key thing. The program is also geared towards a so you have to be oh
Oh,
uh,
to be computer savvy, I think she
no
went.
so yeah
Yeah.
but sorry, yeah, it's geared towards entertainment companies like who are managing multiple bands. And when you think about planning a live event, especially a private event, right? The key thing and the one thing that everyone on the event needs to know is like, what is the timeline,
Right,
right? Like, what
right.
time am I showing up? Where do I show up? Not just the address, but where do I park? If I have a van, if I have
Okay.
a
Yeah.
thing, what are the details? If there's a gate, how do I make sure I have the right code for the gate? So there's like the load in portion.
Right.
Then there's the actual event itself, right? There's a sound check, and then you have different sets. If it's a wedding, you have specific time boxed
Right.
actual timeline. So the timeline thing is huge.
Right.
So that's the first portion of a gig. It's like all the timings. The second portion of a gig is the team, right? Who's on
Right.
the event and what are
Right.
their positions for this event, right? If you have a band, typically you say 9 to 15 piece band, like who's playing guitar, who's playing bass, right?
Okay.
Who are all the personnel? And on top of that, the production crew, like who's setting up, who's doing sound, who's doing lighting, who's managing merch, whatever it may be.
Oh, I see it.
And then and then also what are they being paid, right? Like how are they being paid and who's managing the pay, who's going to handle that, so that's that portion. So it's like the people piece. And then ultimately it's if you're a band, which is who we're geared towards right now, what songs are we playing? What is the set list, right? Are these songs we already know? Are they new songs, right? So I would say right now it's really three key pieces. It's the timeline, the
Right.
schedule of the day. It's the people involved and like how you manage them, how you pay them, and then ultimately the details of the actual day, like where's our green room, what songs are we playing, and what we've done is we call it the command center. We've built just a central place to organize that information, and then from here, kind of what our plans are is we have a lot of sort of small feature requests, but we're trying to save time for these organizations, right? It's not just we're like, cool, having one place to put your information is great, but the thing is we're learning what are the repetitive tasks that you're doing as an organization,
Mm,
and how do we automate it, how do we save time for you,
okay.
right? So things like sending out set lists, sending out gig requests, building a timeline, creating
Oh,
a
okay.
template for a gig. Those are all things that we want to be able to reduce the time it takes to currently to do that.
Right.
So that's sort of like our phase two is now that we have sort of a base platform. Now let's go
Right.
focus on saving you time, because I mean you think about it, like our current organizations, I mean they are doing managing 5, 6 gigs in a weekend. Like it's not just like, oh, I
Yeah.
have an event. No, no, these are
No.
like, you think about there. We have one of our first customers is an organization out of Dallas called IMZ Artists, and they're doing about 40 gigs a month or so, right?
Wow.
And so it's so they're needing to say this person's going, and this is not just like up the street. I mean, these are local, national, and international gigs they're managing,
Right.
right?
Right.
So they need a central hub to say, okay, these folks are going to be in LA this weekend. This band's going to be in Chicago, and this band's going to be in Miami. Okay, does everyone have what they need? Or how are we paying them? How is the client paying us? Right. So it's really the you know if you're a band leader, if you think about command center, you have you're getting ready for takeoff. It's like
Right.
checking to make sure all your ducks are in a row, and
Right.
and trusting the tool to say, okay, I can breathe now. I don't have to worry
Right.
about stressing about this gig because this tool is helping me do a lot of the work that I would be doing manually. So that's sort of how I describe it.
Yeah. And she says, wonderful time management. Yep. It's a time management tool for musicians. And they
Yep.
need that because they really don't have anything. And if as a band leader, right? So
Yep.
my husband has a salsa orchestra. So there are 12
Mm,
people in the
yeah.
orchestra. There's
Yeah.
12 of them. So he deals with all the logistics. Like I hear
Hmm.
him on the phone. Okay, we're changing the guy. Okay, we got this one. He's writing it down. Like after a while, who was the trumpet player? Which one did we
Hmm.
did it right? Right? You're like, I had this
Hmm.
trumpet. No, no, we're not using that trumpet. We're using another one. So if you have it in the system, then you can add. I see you can add the names here. So I was playing around while you were talking. So
Yeah.
I can you can add a person, their position, and then their cost
Hmm.
on
Hmm.
there. So then that way, I saw here when you add person, it says you can add them. It says position. Is it a trumpet player, violin, whatever the instrument
Yeah.
is, which is
Yep.
good, or operations,
Hmm.
or whatever engineer. So you can assign everything there. So it keeps everything for that gig. You know who's going to be there.
Yep.
So like
Yep.
you're saying, so if you have 40 a month, basically each gig will have a list of staff,
Yep.
so you don't have to be worrying about who's managing that event, or who's the
Exactly.
music director for that one, because it's going to
Exactly.
change.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, we want to be the central hub. We want to be a place. It's like our customer right now does not have a tool that is built for them. Like
Mm-mm.
that is like full stop. Like it is. There are tools that you can probably use and retrofit, and that's what they're doing. You can But the thing is, like, we need a tool built for us. That's just full stop. Like, we need
Yeah.
something that understands us. Everybody else gets a tool. Everybody else has an app. I mean, right? Everybody else has an app. Like, we
Yeah.
need an app that knows us, that understands us, that adapts with us, and that is made for us. Like, I mean, that's just like really, it's selfish, but it's
Yeah.
um, the program with staff. Yeah, it's meant to manage the staff. So the thing about Soundcheck is the word I like to use to describe our mission is really empowerment. And what I mean by that is any person that you add to an organization and they are on Soundcheck, they themselves also get to use Soundcheck to manage their own organizations. So your staff is not only working for you, they also get the same set of tools as you to go
Oh,
and say, I want to plan my own events, right? So it's not like a one, like you're a leader of a band and your band can only use the tool to do your gigs. If your band, members of your band, your musicians have their own bands they want to manage, they can do that on Soundcheck. They
okay.
can go and the moment they're invited to your organization, they are empowered to use the tool to go and start playing their own gigs. Like that is how we built it. We built it because it's we're in a technological, I would say, state right now where you don't have to have this complex, platform that you need to do trainings and whatever to use. Like you can make a platform simple enough for anyone to be able to pick it up, plug it in, and go use it. So our goal was to make it super intuitive, super easy. Just by reading a button, you can know what it does. You don't have, you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
That was our goal with Soundcheck. So sorry, I forgot who asked the question, but
Oh, she was asking if you can share the program with staff. I guess she's
yeah,
saying
yeah,
so you can. So basically, I have say my organization Spanglish, so I have that, and then
yeah,
I'm able to share it with other people that I'm assigning things to. So
exactly,
that way they
exactly,
see it, right? So they would see
exactly,
it. Oh, I'm managing this project, da da da, or whatever.
exactly.
Or I'm the trumpet player for this project.
Exactly. So they would see all the details that you want them to see. So as the leader, as the administrator who's managing that gig, you then can share information with them and they're looking at the same command center as you. There's a different view, right? Because they're just
Right,
viewing it, but they
right.
will be able to see it, all the information you want them to see about the gig, you can share with them.
Oh,
There's
that's
also a mobile app. So there's a mobile app companion for the staff to use when they're on the go, right? Events, you're walking around, you're everywhere. So we have a mobile app. We're on the iOS store, and we on the iOS store, and we're also on the Google Play Store. So it's you're able to download the app and see all the details that the band leader has put into the gig.
right, right. Oh, she go. What she put? She put keep networking, stop overlapping. Yeah, because it stops. Because now if you're in the system and you're a trumpet player, oh, I got 5 gigs and they're different. So if
Yep.
everybody using the same platform, then it kind of just it helps with everything. So you can
Yep.
actually go there as a trumpet player and say, oh look, I got 5 gigs, and it shows the dates and the times, which is
Exactly.
really really good because
Yep.
I don't know any musician that has that. There's always like, what time do I have to be there? What time's
Yep.
rehearsal? Don't be late. And like you're making 25 phone calls, and with us
Yeah.
we have 12 people in our band, so
Yep.
it gets really mayhem. Sometimes he's
Yep.
like I don't know how he keeps it. My husband keeps everything in his head, like he knows who's playing and who's not coming, and they switch him out. And I hear him. Oh, we have to change the
Hmm.
pianist. We have to change this guy. He can't go. We have to, and it's constantly right. You're constantly moving people around. You're just shuffling them
Hmm.
around.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and that's the reality for a lot of organizations. And the thing is, I've met some really impressive people. They can keep it in their head. They can it
yeah,
it's
after a while, your head goes, I can't do it no more. You
yeah,
can't.
it,
You just
yeah.
can't.
It's not the best practice to think
No,
you can
no.
keep it in your head and
This is like musician project management now.
I mean that's
What it
basically
is.
what it is. No, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
A project
It's a good way to
management
put it.
tool for musicians that exactly what they need, the sound check, who's the sound engineer, who's doing lighting, what
Yep.
time you have to be there, all that stuff that
Yep.
again, like you said, there really isn't. I've been doing things, on Word, Excel, spreadsheets, trying to keep track of things and then trying to move things around. It's not easy.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no, that's really great. I'm happy that you did something like that. Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
we will
Thank you.
definitely spread the word with all the musicians that we deal with. Uh,
Yeah.
and we do a show. We have a podcast Wednesday for Spanish artists and Thursday
Hmm.
for freestyle and pop and mainstream artists.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've interviewed 400 artists already. So let's see if
Nice.
we get these musicians going on there, and well, mostly the musicians have to go on there, but the directors need to go on there. Whoever's in
Exactly.
charge needs to make
Exactly.
the initiation and go, hey, let's get this tool, and then have everybody go on there, so that way it's manageable.
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
because I know many people, I don't even know how they do it. Like, say, Tito Puente Jr., he's traveling all around the world. He was in
Mm.
Australia, then he came back to New York, and then he went back out again. I mean, he's just like constant, constant, constant. I don't know how he does it because there wasn't a tool for it. So,
Yeah, no, our goal is to the touring piece of it is going to be important. Our goal is to truly um, manage touring bands and touring artists. It's going to be huge for us.
and by any chance, do you have it in any other language?
That's so, what's crazy about that? Today we met with an organization based out of Miami, and they're about 200 people. They have Miami, Las Vegas, and I think they have in a few Latin American countries. And that's the same question he asked me today. Is he goes, can I use this for international? And one of our head designers is from Mexico. She's born and raised in Mexico, and she's amazing. I love Erica. And she asked about it. She was like, "When are we gonna start doing it in
With the
Spanish?"
Spanish. I
So
know.
all that to say is it's coming very soon because this is
Okay.
my third. I'm not even joking with you. It's 2 p.m. right now. This is my third conversation of the day being asked, "Is this in Spanish?" So that's a sign that we need to get this in
Well,
Spanish.
the diversity here,
Yeah,
especially in Miami. Are you kidding? In
I know.
Miami, you got the diversity, and Miami is like everybody speaks Spanish and the culture. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of Latinos. Okay,
I know. No, for real, for real. We got to work on that. It's on our roadmap.
we're at like almost 70 million in the
It's
United
on.
States.
Yeah, we're working on that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I always do everything in English. I mean, I tell everybody, that's our main language here in America. But there are times that there's other countries that you're dealing. Like, say you have an event in Colombia, so
Hmm.
now they don't know English, so they'll be have a hard time. What do I do, or
Yep.
that kind of thing.
Yep.
So I'm happy that yeah. See,
Oh, definitely.
it's
Yep.
meant to be. It's meant to be. You'll get it
It's
done.
meant to be. Yeah, we definitely have to at this point.
You have to make it neutral Spanish. You said she's Mexican, so she knows.
She
Because
knows.
you know how the Spanish is different. People don't realize the Spanish is different in every country too.
Yeah.
You can say something in Mexican and so somebody else in Puerto Rico. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. No, that is funny.
But that's great. So now you just spend your time working on this program, getting it out there, and just promoting it. And
Yeah, I most of my time right now, which is the best part of doing this, is just I get to talk to so many people who are actually like that we're saving them time. Like we are making their lives better right now. And it's also nice because they're like finally like what we hear almost every day is finally. Like that's what we get finally. And I'm like, nice, that's good to know. But so that's the best part is just talking to musicians, talking to and again, musicians is a I'm a musician, right?
right,
But a lot of our users, I mean, they're event planners,
right,
they're agencies, they're talent management company, like right. It's not, it's musician
right,
is a huge piece of it, but ultimately, like it's really anyone who's dealing with live event professionals, speakers, like I said, production, sound, stage, lighting. A huge part of it is even, freelance management. We have a production crew on the platform, and they don't even do music events. They're doing mostly, corporate events,
okay,
speaking events. But they
right,
again, it's the same idea. They
yes,
need a timeline. They have a team to manage. They have to pay people, and they have
yep.
to make sure the details about the project, what to call it, that they're working on, are all clear and clean. So it's becoming really just a platform that it's freelance talent management. Really, is really
Right.
what it's starting to become, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Given that we can apply it to other industries.
No, that's good. I mean, I like I tell you, we just came from our cruise, our first cruise that we did.
Mm,
And my husband and I did our first Spanglish party cruise in late end
hmm
of October, and we had musicians and we had like five different artists singing and
mm.
all these moving parts, but not I didn't know about your application yet. So so it was quite interesting when you're like,
Yeah.
where's that paper? Where's the other one? Like you're trying to
Mm.
did you bring it? Oh no, I left it home. Oh God, like you're trying to find stuff on your phone and and you're in the middle of the ocean. You're like, where is it? It's a
No,
little
that's
difficult when
interesting.
you're out there, when you're out on the ocean, and
Hmm
there's a lot of things like people don't realize. It's not just the I mean, you have the musicians and you have everything else that goes with it, like you said, all the people that are running the sound. Like, we had a point we were on the cruise ship and we paid for the sound engineer, but he came and left. I'm like, where'd he go? I'm like,
Uh-oh.
what? Hello? Like, no, so I'm
Uh-oh.
dialing the number. Can you send him back again, please? We haven't done we did one mic check. There's five artists. I need other mic, like, so thank God he can't go too far. So
I know. I was like, yeah, he just went to the bar or something.
it's not too far. He's probably at another event or something. But
Hmm
yeah, so it's just really interesting the things you learn too. And we were so crazy. We did our first ever cruise. We've never been on a cruise before. And we did an event.
That's crazy. What cruise line was it?
It was Carnival.
Carnival. How was the experience with Carnival?
It was good. I mean, the staff was great. I learned a lot. Let me just say I learned a lot about things to ask beforehand, things to look for. You
Mm,
learn all these
hmm
little things that you need to know. But we had a great time. We made the best of what we had. We had a
Yeah.
big room, but unfortunately they gave us a room like the comedy room. And I'm
Okay.
like, we're salsa dance people. I can't dance on carpet.
Oh no.
So people were dancing on the stage because we didn't have a lot of the whole band. So we had
Yeah.
people were dancing on the stage, and then on the side was all tiles. So and then people would just like kind of dance anywhere they could find a spot. They didn't care. We were everybody was pretty cool about that. But
Yeah.
it's those things. If you don't see things beforehand, it's really
hmm
difficult. And then
hmm
they had some, I don't know. But now we're going on another cruise end of this month to go see the another ship, a different line.
Okay.
And
But still Carnival.
no, I'm going to MSC.
MSC. Okay.
MSC. I'm going to
Okay.
check out MSC, and then we're checking out different cruise lines, to see the
Yeah.
differences because they all have their difference.
Yeah. Are you planning another event for this cruise or
Yes,
just go? Oh, okay.
yeah,
Nice.
we're doing the 2026 cruise now. Yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay.
we'll be
Yeah. Keep me
yeah.
updated. If we're around, we would love to find a way to be involved. If
That would be
you,
that would be cool. Yeah, because
yeah.
we really we built an incredible community. That's what we're doing.
Nice.
Of
Nice.
like-minded people that we love music. We're out just to have a good time,
Yeah.
talk to people, and it felt like a big family. It really did.
hmm
It was just I was like crying because I just felt so, loved and just so
That's
like what I
awesome.
mean, like that energy of everybody was just happy, and that's
Yeah.
thing. It was just a happy environment, and we, all the artists, they were there all weekend, so they were hanging out with everybody. So like, oh, I'm hanging out with so and so. This is so cool. And we had artists from we had Will and Moore from back in the '90s from freestyle, the
hmm
Nasty Boys, and we had our big salsa artists on there as well that have been around 30,
Nice.
40 years. So people, you know how it is. People see them, but they don't really interact with them. So it was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
we'll
that's fun.
we'll talk offline and
Yeah,
see what we do together.
for sure. Yeah, this has been awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for y'all.
So you can go to soundchecklive.io and you can
Yes.
download the app and also
Yeah.
log in on the computer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
soundchecklive.io, everybody.
Yes.
And then you can find
Amazing.
that on Instagram. I saw that you have an Instagram page and some other
hmm
pages as well. And
hmm
yeah, go check it out. All the musicians out there, all the event planners, there's tons of you out there. We're gonna share this out to everybody, especially on TikTok. I got a lot of musicians out there.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, no, the music's still going. Like I tell people, music doesn't die. It reinvents itself. It readapts to the new time, and it just keeps moving. You know,
Yep.
salsa has been around for a long time, and we're having nuances now, different artists mixing
Hmm.
it with the urban and the salsa, and there's a big fusion going on.
Yep.
So,
No, I love that. Yeah, it never, you know, I think as we, especially in the world we live in now, I think we're going to value these experiences, these in-person experiences, even more now. It's so important. There's so much that's easy just to do from your computer or get on a do online that we are. It's going to become a luxury. It's becoming a luxury
uh,
to and like a sought after luxury. To be in person with people and enjoy experiences. I think it's something extremely important. So
yeah,
that's what we're building for. We're building to like I said, we talked a lot about the command center, which
right.
is important for us. But ultimately, you know, as as we expand the platform and as we continue to grow the platform, our ultimate goal is how do we create a central hub for musicians to not only manage their careers or manage gigs they have, but also grow their careers, right? Because live entertainment is going to keep growing. It's the present and it's also the future.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
isn't a fad. It's not a trend. It's not something that we're doing because blah 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 in the market. No, it's because it is one of the rawest forms of human connection. So how do we as a platform, how do we understand, okay, what are the real problems that are being faced by event professionals and musicians and freelancers, and how do we be the platform that can support them? Like that is our ultimate goal. But we're starting small, so we'll
and you'll grow big because the musicians
yeah.
you'll talk to more and more, and they'll tell you different things. And then when you get into another language, then other things will come up as well. Because
Mm,
once you get into the market of Mexico, Colombia,
mm,
Peru, the South Americans,
mm-hmm,
and don't forget Brazil. Brazil does a lot of events, so you're gonna have to
mm-hmm.
start doing some Portuguese también.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Living down here, I've been in the communities, my Latin communities, and I lived in a neighborhood that was all Brazilian for a long time. So I got to
Mm.
learn the Brazilian language and the people, and they love to party. They love music. They love music
Yeah,
and dance. It's about the music and the dance in the community.
yeah,
That's what you're saying. That's all it is. It's about building that community and having a good time together. Why
yeah.
we don't want to be alone.
Hmm.
And after COVID, who wants to be alone anymore?
I know. I know. I know. Yeah.
So, but anyway, thank you so much for your time,
Thank
and
you.
keep going at it. I know you do really well.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
This is
you're welcome.
amazing. This is
You're
awesome.
welcome. You're welcome. Let me gotta exit you out here with a nice round of applause. Come on,
We'll
clapping.
take it. Thank you so much. Bye. See
Bye.
you later.
So many of you will see this on the replay. I think it's very important that you see this on the replay for all my musicians out there, for my band leaders, for my event promoters, anybody who's doing an event. This software is really, really good. It keeps everything in one place. And you can put in what musicians are in, what musicians you're going to have for a certain gig. Then they can actually get the app as well on their phone, so that way they can go on the app and they can see, oh, I have these gigs. That it'll show him, the person or her, right, what gigs they have and with who and who else is going to be playing. So they get all the information as well. So it's like really organized. People will know who the sound engineer is. It's a really good, like I said, it's a music management software. That's exactly I would say. So check out soundchecklive.io and see if you like it. Anyway, that's our special edition today for Spanglish News. And we also have another one coming soon because we just interviewed Nacho Acero. And he is an artist from Colombia, salsero. He's been around for a long time, 15, 20 years doing salsa. Really good new song that he just made. So check out, that's coming pretty soon on here. See you later. Have a great day. Mm, 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 mm.